You're listening to Darling Shine, a podcast by Ellidy Pullin and myself, Chloe Fisher.
Darling Shine is your survival kit to the unexpected shit life throws at you.
This episode is brought to you by Lyka Pet Food. I know you and Rummy are excited about this one, Elle.
I know, Chloe. Wow, Rummy finally got a sponsor. I'm so excited. As you guys know, my dog is my life, so I do not muck around when it comes to what I feed her. I want her to live forever. I literally think she eats better quality than me most of the time. Lyka Pet Food is leading the way and changing the game when it comes to dog nutrition. Rummy's got a new meal plan customized according to her weight, breed, lifestyle, and activity level, and it's delivered straight to my door. They now have 5 signature vet-approved recipes, including beef, chicken, lamb, turkey, and kangaroo, and a new one launching in May.
Use code DarlingShine for 30% off your first box at lyka.com.au. That's lyka.com.au. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. How's my podcast voice? I'm on today.
You're on, sis. Hello.
Welcome to part 2 of the listener questionnaire. We, as Ellidy, decided last week that we were going to do 2 parts of this because you guys sent in so many questions and we quickly realised that we had taken up a whole half of the episode with 2 questions that you guys didn't even ask. How are you guys going?
Yeah, how are you guys going? All right. Well, I reckon we just rip straight in, doll. Yeah. First question straight off the bat. What is it like being married to a famous DJ? How do you deal with all the groupies, doll?
I love how you say doll. Well, it's not – I didn't marry him as a DJ for a start. We've been together since he wasn't really – I mean, he's DJ'd since I've known him, but not as a career.
He was not really a
no, he sort of like did it on the side, but then he was a surfer by trade when I first met him.
True.
So, and then the surfing sort of thing just fizzled out, and then he decided that he wanted to like take up DJing as a career and started off in a duo group actually called Cut Snake, and then evolved into doing Fisher. So I've kind of been along for the whole journey. So I mean, it's amazing being married.
He wasn't famous when you met him, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, being married to a DJ, it's epic. It's so much fun. It's funny because we've spent our whole lives as gypsies, basically, and it's only the last 2 years that we've actually had our first home and our first car. Look at us, we're just growing up. Yeah, because I've only ever lived out of a suitcase for the last 5 years and in and out of Airbnbs and hotels and. True. So being married to a DJ, I guess it's fast. You're always go. It's super fun. You're always doing something different every single day.
You'd never be bored.
You're not really ever bored. You're tired, but you're not really ever bored. Especially being married to Paul, he definitely.
You wouldn't have been bored regardless.
He loves
bored.
Bald or bored.
He's bald, but you wouldn't have been bored.
No. And then the groupie thing. Again, that's just come with the come with it. He's always had these fans that have followed him because before, like I said, he was a DJ, he was a surfer, and so he had these surfers that used to follow him around, like young kids, and he used to do funny videos and all that. So he's that's always been a thing in his life. But it's actually funny now. We go to some shows and sometimes I won't go to them and I get these DMs going, I actually only went to see you, not him. And people will come running up and then he thinks that they're they're ready to see him and they're like, no, I'm here to see Chloe, but it's a bonus that you're playing.
That's so funny. Yeah, you've actually always had groupies. Like you I think he has groupies, but they're always like, oh, Chloe, come in the photo too. Like,
yeah, and remember he played in Oakland last year, which is just down from San Francisco, and there was this big sign that's like, we are not are we? What was that?
We are not darling boring, we're darling shining.
Yes, and so we had this full sign in the crowd. It was so epic.
That's so freaking
But yeah,
funny.
It's fun. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And do you guys ever have downtime or are you always just so busy?
Well, yes and no. It's you have to carve out your downtime because we could put in these blocks where it's okay, he's not working for this period. It's my weekend. So I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was my birthday. I'm like, okay, don't book anything over this weekend. It's my birthday. And then all of a sudden something will pop up and they're like, oh, you know, what do you think of this? And then all of a sudden, like,
You are
he's
always
playing
busy.
the show on my birthday. But, you know, it's fun, as if like could be worse things you'd be doing on your birthday than partying with your mates. But COVID, there was a lot of downtime. So we were able to spend heaps of time together, like literally in our place on the Gold Coast and relaxing.
Yeah.
This year is going to be a big one because he loves doing what he does so much that this year he's like, I just want to go as hard as I can. And when I say hard, he like work as much as he possibly can, because we've just had these 2 years off. He's just like,
Yeah,
I need to go now. So when we go to Europe at the start of June, honestly, from the opening party in Ibiza, which I think is like the 14th of June, all the way through to October, he's pretty much working like 5 or 6 days a week, in just not just in Ibiza. He's in Ibiza on a Wednesday, Thursdays are off, and then Friday through Monday, Tuesday, he's in a different country or a different, you know, place in Europe, or back and forth to the States. And I personally will not probably go to back and forth to the States because it's like a 24-hour turnaround. He's got to fly over to the States, play in Vegas, come back all just within 24 hours, and I'll just stay in Ibiza.
so hectic.
But yeah, you really like, you can work as much as you want, or, you know, you can have as much downtime, but he's just so obsessed with what he does that he loves. It's downtime for him is playing.
I love hearing that. So obsessed with what he does. Yeah, it's go time this year, that's for sure. But yeah, I'd say when he comes home, if he's not doing shows at home, he is cruising.
Yeah.
Like he does cruise. He gets to chill.
I feel like if he had it his own way, he would literally lock himself in his house and not see anyone.
Literally.
He's like, fuck, do I have to see people? No, he loves our friends.
Yeah, he can. He can have like a bit of introvert. Like I think lots of people think he's like, you know, he does go into his shell a little bit.
He definitely loves time at home and just chilling and enjoying life in the slow lane for 1 minute.
Yeah, for a millisecond. Yes. Another question: has Ellidy always been an Energizer bunny for you?
Yes. I mean, since I've known Ellidy, she's always been go, go, go. And like I said, we've only become like really, really tight in the last few years, just knowing her and knowing our girlfriends, and just in the group, you would always be the one that's just like 1,000 miles an hour. I actually feel like I'm a bit of an Energizer bunny, but next to you, I feel like I'm like a turtle.
I feel like I've slowed down. I feel like I've chilled out.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah. Definitely don't like just...
This didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, this wasn't like Chumpy passed away and I'm grieving and I'm just like, go, 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 go. Come on, don't stop. It's scary. This is actually kind of just me. And so this is me keeping my life normal. I think like I just keep going. I actually was always like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I think lots of people are like, stop, like slow down. You're going through too much. What are you doing? And I'm like, this is actually kind of me normally.
Wait, before you do that, if anyone has noticed what we're wearing today, we have some very exciting things.
If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, you don't know what we're talking about. We're wearing our new t-shirts, and I'm wearing mine backwards actually, so that you guys can see the back.
Ellidy's setting a new trend, wearing her shirt back the front, but here it says "Darling Shine" on the front, and then on the back it says "We are the Sunshine Gang." So we'll be launching that hopefully in the next few weeks. So.
I was just trying to read it back to front, but I don't even know what it says. But this top's a vibe. I might even cut the colour off so that I can wear it backwards or something. I like it.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we're already redesigning.
Yes. So yeah, that's exciting.
If you could, Chloe, another really cool listener question. If you could go back to one moment in your life, what would it be and why?
Oh, we were trying to think about this, and it's like a bittersweet one. And I said to Elle, I was like, I think it was my wedding, and not just like the wedding day, but the wedding as a whole, because when I look back on that, it was such a special time. And I feel like we were all in that moment. We had all of our friends. Chump was around. My grandmother was around. Everyone was living this life. You know, we had no idea what was to come. And like when I say what was to come, it was like my grandma passed away 3 days after my wedding. COVID hit a week after my wedding. Everyone went home into lockdown, and then a few months later, Chumpy passed away. So I really, really, really believe that if I could pick one moment in my whole entire life to relive, it would be my wedding week, just being with everyone. It was seriously, it was some of the best times that we've all had. I just miss Chumpy on the dance floor.
He was the best that night on the dance floor. Him at weddings goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got goosebumps because like we were so naive to life then.
Yes.
We were just proper like young, wild and free vibes because we just didn't give a fuck about
That was-
anything.
yeah.
Like nothing was going
Yeah.
wrong. Everything was amazing and going to plan. Then
shit
literally hit the fan. Like if the world just kind of came to an end. It was
Yeah.
literally like just before the beginning of the end. And then
Fully.
since then it's been like a series of unfortunate events. And that sounds really negative because obviously like lots of good things have happened like as well, of course. But like
Not to mention you, Minnie. She's actually been a good girl today.
She's asleep, so we're just smashing the questions while she's asleep. But yeah, wow, isn't that wild? But yeah, I would say I can absolutely agree that would for sure for you be the best time in your life. I think the beginning of that year for me was the best time in my life. Like in a way. I don't know. Exactly. But also the night I met Chump at Laura's party, I'd love to go back to that moment. That was the best.
I can't believe that you met Chumpy at Laura's party. I didn't know that.
I feel like Laura's so fucking pivotal in my life. We didn't meet at Laura's party. We'd already known each other, but then we kissed at Laura's party. That was the beginning of us. And then Laura was the one that came to you with the sperm retrieval idea. Where the fuck would my life be at without Laura?
I know. It's wild. Like, it's really wild to think about that, actually.
It's actually – I wonder if
she
she's
deserves
sad.
a medal.
I wonder if she's sad she's not the godmother. Lorbs, if you're listening.
Can we make her a medal?
Oh, Laura Enever, by the way, is Laura Enever, our bestest friend who was on the podcast just the other week. Like if you listen to Darling Shine, you know who Laura is. She's a pivotal person in our lives.
You know, like when you were younger and you used to do like netball competitions and you used to get you go to the trophy shop. Let's make her a trophy.
Okay. Hopefully she's not listening.
Maybe we could do some like Darling Shine awards. She can get it the Legend Award.
Yeah, she deserves medals just for in life, like not even just me and Chump and Minnie
goes
thing.
around and
hundreds cement.
Perfect. All right, follow us up on that, people.
The Laura medal.
All right, enough of me. Next listener question is for Ellidy, and it is, do you experience mum guilt? How do you handle it? I feel bad leaving my kid with her grandparents.
This just strikes me like, what is mum guilt? Why do we even put the words mum and guilt in the same fucking phrase? Like, I just think that's weird.
What is mum guilt?
What is mum guilt? Like, that's the dumbest thing that people just make shit up so that you randomly have to feel mum guilt or something. I would feel guilty if I didn't leave my kid with its grandparents. That they want that. They're like, they love that. Oh, I don't know. I don't get that, to be honest. And if my kid's being minded, it's not just so I can work and do shit. It's so I can go and have a margie or two. Like, don't feel guilty for that. The kid, it's good for the kid and it's good for the grandparents. It's literally good for everyone. Like, it's so good for you as well to have an outlet and get away as like –
yeah, but I wonder if it's like some people in some instances are like, you know, my grandparents have it like 2 or 3 days a week permanently and like that sort of thing instead of just like dropping it on mum and dad.
If they're not happy with the arrangement, maybe, you're overutilizing that resource and maybe I get why you could feel a bit guilty. Maybe if you're overdoing it, but I haven't got mum guilt yet. Maybe that's yet to come. Minnie loves being with other people and other people love being with Minnie. So if I trust that person and I've never left her in a situation where I don't feel comfortable like at all. But yeah, maybe if you're leaving your kid like all the time, but people do have to make ends meet. And sometimes I don't know. I don't think that mums should feel guilty. Like if you're a mum, I take my hat off to you because you're fucking amazing. Don't feel guilty. I hate those two words together. I don't like that. I'm not happy about that. Is that a thing? Let's delete it. Okay? Let's cancel mum guilt.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next question. How do you go breastfeeding and pumping/drinking? I feel like this is a big question for people because they see us having a good time. Yeah. And how do you have so much milk?
I was just told milk, and I was really worried about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding was a thing in my head that I was like, I want to get this right. I want to nail it because I hear horror stories. I hear it's hard. I think I have been super lucky with it. However, at the start I did put in the hard yards, and I'm not saying that like everyone, if they do this, it's going to be absolutely fine and a dream for you. Like it has been pretty easy for me. straight after I gave birth to Minnie, when I came home, my friend Tiana was literally with me for 2 weeks straight, and every time I fed, she was helping me literally squeeze my boob and put it inside Minnie's mouth in this certain angle and getting Minnie's lips so that they were like if you're watching, like they have to be like duck lips, like around my tit, and like she was like putting my tit in, getting Minnie's lips, like the latch correctly, like we nailed that. And it did get painful. I use those Silverette things, which I've talked about in another episode. Silverette, get them if you're about to breastfeed. They're amazing. Don't let them leave your boob unless the bub's feeding. And we got the latch down. We got the feeding down. I felt comfortable holding her. She was comfortable. And then once we nailed that, I just wanted to make my supply amazing. And it became like I just always want milk. If you have milk, you have freedom. And someone said to me early on, get your baby to take the bottle as well as the boob. And Minnie's always been able to go bottle, boob, and dummy. Like she just loves sucking anything. So I think a few stars aligned, or I got lucky. Like I think I did get lucky. She likes sucking boob, bottle, dummy. Like she bounces back from all of them. So that's one lucky thing. And then the latch we ended up nailing, and my supply I kept up really consistently. I'll tell you a really quick thing that I just learnt myself, and it just worked for me just in terms because Minnie spews a lot. She's got a lot of reflux and maybe maybe a little degree of colic, although she doesn't really cry too much anymore. But so I learnt, and I kind of just figured this out on my own because I went to go and get a bottle and it said anti-colic bottle. And I thought, oh gosh, maybe this bottle will make her like not spew as much. So I decided in the middle of the nights when I don't want to be up with her for hours burping her and waiting for her to spew and everything, I just want to feed her and put her to bed. I was like, I'm going to pump and then feed her through a bottle in the middle of the night. And it ended up working perfectly. So I give her this massive bottle at about 11 p.m. and then I pump for the next night. Does that make sense? I feed her through the bottle in the middle of the night, put her straight down because she seems to, the anti-colic bottle makes her drink really slowly, and she doesn't seem to have all the spew after, and I don't have to burp her as much. So she literally goes straight back down. It's like a big dream feed for me, but not from my boob. And then straight after, so in the middle of the night, I pump. I get a full bottle of milk for the next night, put that in the fridge and get that ready for the next night.
So she's not sleeping all the way through the night?
No, Minnie's not sleeping all the way through the night. She actually wakes up minimum once, usually she wakes up twice. Minnie wakes up minimum once for a massive dream feed, and then again at about 3 or 4, and she squawks a little bit. I don't actually feed her at 3 or 4. I just keep putting the dummy back in, and then she self settles and like does go back to sleep. I'm trying to just kind of like stretch that out, and this is just my instincts. You know, sometimes if she is like very, very unsettled at 2 or 3 or for whenever that time is that she wakes up, I'll give her some more milk.
Is there like a certain age where they like generally speaking they should sleep through the night, like go to have that dream feed at 11 and then sleep all the way through to like 6 or 7?
I think a lot of babies at this age do that, and especially if they're on formula, I think they're more full and they do sleep through. Okay. Minnie just doesn't do it. Yeah, I'm fine with it. We're just doing our thing. I'm just like not putting pressure on me or her to like do that because I'm actually really happy with what we're doing. Honestly, it's not hard. I am getting really good sleep at the moment. Yeah, we're flowing. I think they do say when bub's around 6 or 7 kilos that it's fine for them to sleep through the entire night. So like I'm yet for her to actually do that. But yes, I'm sure it'll happen naturally.
Just miniature.
But sorry, back to just pumping. So I pump in the middle of the night, and then often I find I wake up with overflowing boobs. So then she feeds from one boob in the morning, seems to have a very full feed from that boob. And then I pump the other boob and I end up getting like a fair bit of milk from that boob. And I just that's the one that I put in the freezer. So I always do have milk. Like for example, Fish is about to come home and he's like, do you have heaps of milk? I need to hang out with Minnie. And I'm like, I do. And I think look, everyone's supply is going to be different, but I definitely notice the more I just keep consistently pumping, obviously the more milk I have. And I have been out a few nights and maybe not brung my pump or gone out for 5-6 hours and not pumped, and the supply drops straight away. And I learned that early on. And this is case by case for sure. I honestly think I am lucky. I get so many questions about this, which is why I'm going into it. So at night, at night I do feel like I can sit on the couch and have a wine when Minnie's gone to sleep, or I can go and have a margie, with friends, because I have that bottle that I've pumped and I feed her that at 11 p.m. So, and I always have milk. So it's not to say that I'm drinking all the time. I'm fucking definitely not. I'm completely I'm just like every other Joe Blow. I'm working, I'm busy, I'm a mum. But yeah, I always have milk. I always have it backed up, and I do feel really lucky to have that. And I'm going to try and keep that supply up. And I've learnt my lesson. I take my pump everywhere when I'm not with Minnie, and I stay on top of it, because if I miss it, it goes down like straight away. My milk supply will decrease. So
good to know.
So yeah, sorry about the breastfeeding ramble. I just I get so many questions about that. So I did want to.
Well, I learned. Can't
wait.
Wait for you to start doing that for me one day.
Yeah. I just think it's so interesting, and there was times where I was like, should I see no. I understand why people would see a breast milk or a lactation consultant, because I literally am so fascinated by it. And yeah, so that I find that shit so interesting. Anything to do with the human body, I'm like obsessed.
Yes.
I feel like I need to be I need to research. I want to do something in that. I don't know. I love it.
Okay, next question. Does Minnie have a nap routine or a time? Does she fall asleep anywhere? Are you struggling with the 4-month sleep regression?
Minnie, she does have a bit of a routine. It's loose though. For example, now I knew I'd come over and record with Chloe around 9:30, 10, and I knew that around that hour, around 9:30, 10, she'd fall asleep. So we kind of waited for her to fall asleep, and then we press hit on this recording. Obviously, if we were having a guest on, I'd have to be a bit more regimented with maybe I need my mum or someone to be here, or get someone to kind of look after in case she doesn't go to sleep at that time. So a bit of a loose routine. She is still young. I do want to get into more of a set routine, but I do maybe I'm lucky with Minnie being a good sleeper. She kind of does sleep anywhere-ish. Sometimes she's a bit funny and won't, but she sleeps well in the pram. I can kind of put her down wherever. She loves noise, thank God, because I was never quiet around her. Everyone was always yelling at me, where our friends are really loud. So when she was in my belly, Rummy's barking, we're all loud, we're all, everything's going on. She's used to noise. Your kid is going to be able to deal with some serious noise. So she loves noise. She sleeps, she seems to sleep pretty well when there's a noisy environment, which is awesome. And I think I am lucky with the sleep thing. However, the 4-month regression did hit, and things do change overnight, and you're like, whoa, why is my baby just randomly not sleeping? And then it's a week or two or a few weeks, so it's like a phase. And I just keep telling myself when that happens, it's a phase, everything, it's going to pass, she's not going to be like this forever, and I'm going to look back and miss these bits. So I kind of just I definitely want to have a sense of routine. I never want to not have a routine, because I'm a routine-y person in some ways, but I'm not strict yet. She's still quite young, so we're following our noses. But look, she's quite flexible with me in the daytime, in that I can bring her everywhere and she can kind of sleep wherever-ish. She loves the car. She loves sleeping in the car. So then at nighttime, I can be a little bit more flexible when she's mucking around. So we kind of we balance each other out, me and her. We're just we're still getting to know each other, guys. We're I'm learning. She's teaching me a lot.
A quick word from our sponsor, Lyka Pet Food. All this pet food chat is making me think I'm going to have to send a little doggy bag down to my dog Lola in Sydney.
Just like us humans, it's so important for Rummy and all of the doggies to eat nutritionally balanced meals for their overall health and holistic improvement, from their energy levels to their skin and their coat and even their teeth. Rummy actually really needs help in the tooth department. Each Lyka recipe includes fresh, whole food, human-grade ingredients, including powerful superfoods. Yummy Rummy! It's actually really good to know in case I run out of my own shit and I get a bit hungry. Kidding. Not. You guys can use code DARLINGSHINE for 30% off your first box at lyka.com.au. That's lyka.com.au.
Next question is postpartum body and healing. What are you doing?
I'm postpartum body and healing. I am not look, finally I stopped peeing myself and the bleeding stopped after about 2 months, thank
She
goodness.
just got a little bit lazy and kept wearing her pads for about
Nappies
years.
stuck around for a long time.
Remember I saw her one day, I'm like, are
Why
you
does
wearing a nappy? And she's like, yeah, it's called laziness now.
I had to finish the pack. No, but do you know what? Like sometimes you I just don't like pads, and I was bleeding for a while. But yeah, so I think, and I think a lot of mums say this, you're just so busy that for me, the last thing on my mind was like, let's, quickly get my body back into shape or anything. You're just running around with Minnie. And I think naturally running around kind of helps you just get back into your body, just get back into rhythm. And I do feel good again. I feel like me again. I maybe I didn't feel not like me. I think I was all just I had so much going on. Yeah. So I am starting to get into exercise and things like that now. And my eating is just whenever I can get some bread or something into me, it's like I guess I'm eating a fair bit because I'm not cooking too much at the moment. So I think everyone says it takes 9 months to be pregnant and have a baby. So give yourself that time afterwards. Like I would, it's easier said than done not to put pressure on yourself to bounce back because we're all on Instagram. We're all comparing ourselves. But I just think lap up your baby, lap up being busy and doing that, and try not. It wasn't a stressor for me personally, and I feel good about that. And sometimes I think previously the more I've stressed about I've got a photo shoot coming up, or I want to look really good for this, the more I can't stop thinking about food and I just eat. Sometimes, it's that I need to be on a diet or something. Do you ever do that? Sometimes the more you are on some sort of, you want to put yourself on some sort of healthy program, the more shit I eat.
I've never really done any of those proper healthy program things. I've always just kind of, I think for me, I've always just gotten into workout mode more so than diet mode.
Yeah.
Because I'm really bad at sticking with that sort of shit. I've tried to do, there's cleansers where you do that cayenne pepper and all that sort of shit.
Torture.
And it's I do it for 2 days. And I'm like,
it's
no,
not
that's
so
not for
fun
me.
either.
I'd prefer to go hard on exercise.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
Yeah.
And just trying to be conscious about what you're eating rather than going to Macca's and shit like that.
And I hate to sound, I do love a little Mac, but I hate to sound cliche, but more than ever now I'm realizing it's way more about how I feel than what I look like. And when I feel good, I seem to look in the mirror and more what I see. Do you, yeah. For me, it's mental at the moment. But yes, okay. Back to you, Chloe. I like this question. It's wow. I felt that big time. How to manage pregnancy anxiety? How do you feel about being pregnant and the anxiety that comes with it and is going to come with it when you do fall pregnant?
It's a bit of a self-explanatory one for women who have gone through what I've gone through or going through. You just know that at the moment you see that double lines on a pregnancy test, you're instantly, it's funny because whenever I am pregnant, I am happiest and I'm going around doing things and pottering around, the neighborhood and stuff. And I'm I have this sense of happiness where I'm yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't need to worry about
I felt
trying anymore. I don't have to worry about all this, this is here, it's come to me sort of thing. But then
I could see that last time
this most recent time for me, I didn't have as much anxiety because I was really, really happy and I really thought that I was convinced, I was you can't be that unlucky, come on.
Yeah.
So the anxiety wasn't as bad, but as the pregnancy went along and I started spotting and then I eventually went on bed rest, I still wasn't that anxious because I was going to ultrasounds and I was hearing the heartbeat. So the anxiety, I feel for me wasn't as heightened. But moving forward, I do think that any pregnancy that comes after this now, I'm going to be very anxious because, and I just don't think it's even to get to the 12-week mark. I do think that I might try and do things differently next time in the sense of I want to I want to go back to exercising. I want to do this. I don't want to be nurturing it or not nurturing it, but babying the baby as such and not doing things because I'm pregnant, because like a lot of people don't even know they're pregnant in the first, few months. And so I think that element will change, and I want to try and keep myself busy. But I do believe that this next pregnancy, right up until the baby's in my arms, I think that I'm going to be pretty anxious, and that's just a given.
100%.
People that don't go through these trials, which I've been going through, and they fall pregnant naturally and they have a like almost a dream pregnancy, it'd be very hard for them to understand that. But the women out there who are out there trying to conceive and that are in my boat, I think it's just like it's a bit of a, I wouldn't say niche group, because the more I speak about it, the more people actually come to me and say, I go through this as well. But we're like almost this like kind of club, because there's like people that definitely will not feel at all, but then there's people that feel it really, really heavily on like, so
I reckon
it's a case by case.
Yeah, it's a case by case. So many people would be nervous for that 7-8 week mark to hear the heartbeat, and then once they've heard it, I bet there's heaps of people that don't ever feel any sort of much anxiety towards whether the baby's okay or not. But
how do I manage it? I love meditation. I love going to yoga. I love self-care. I love doing things for myself. So coping with that pregnancy anxiety, I'll go for long walks. I'll, just try and keep busy and try not to get caught up on the couch. And I feel like the more you have your mind on it, the more anxious you're going to be. So it is important to keep busy, keep on top of your work. Like for us, we do the podcast, so it's very therapeutic. We get to get on here and we get to talk about these feelings and these anxieties and help each other through that. But anxiety is something that's going to happen whether you like it or not. It's not something that you can control. I feel like you can listen to some breathwork exercises, read the Wim Hof book, which we've spoken about before. Just kind of turn inwards and just like I said, anxiety is going to happen to you whether you choose it or not. And it's just the way that you kind of it's just the way that you manage it is how heavy it's going to be. So keep busy, meditate.
Yeah. And kind of I think maybe that when you get pregnant, it's going to be scary the whole time, and it's going to be frightening the whole time whether the baby's okay, because of the trauma that you've already dealt with. So like knowing that's like, and being prepared for those feelings that are going to come up all the time.
And I think well, it's like with miscarriages, up until now or up until recently, I've really thought that there's like a reason behind this, or there's something that I've done to have caused that, or there's something wrong with me. But I think it's really important to like it's taken so long, but just wrap your brain around the idea of you're going to miscarry exactly like anxiety, whether you do something like maybe obviously if your circumstance is different where you fall down a flight of stairs or you have like some crazy harm, but just on a general note, generalizing this whole topic, I just think that sometimes it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And it's not something that you can. So for example, when I was on bed rest, this most recent pregnancy, it was always going to miscarry. So I could have been on bed rest and it could have like, if I wasn't going to miscarry, I would have got out the other end of it. But I didn't know this, but obviously, it was that was just written in the stars for me for that pregnancy. So you have to really try and detach yourself that it's something that you've done.
I think your body's going to do what your body's going to do. And a lot of people would always think, is it because I had that coffee, or is it because I ate, was it too hot, that soup that I ate, or something silly like that? And of course it's not, but we can't help our mind going to those
I just
places.
think it's learning. Every pregnancy for me has been different. And I think, each time you just learn something different and you can share different things with your friends. And
Do you not think that like our whole entire lives, like you're 30, I'm about to turn 30. I feel like I've learnt more in the last year and a half of my life than I have in the 28 years before. Like
100%.
Wow.
I know.
About myself as well. Yeah. And about people.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I've said to a few people recently, like I feel like I'm the best version of myself that I have been ever. Like you right are. Now, even up until maybe a month or two ago, even after this most recent miscarriage, like I see things differently. I take feedback on differently. I feel like I project myself differently. And it's just crazy.
I've learned more than ever. I'm just like going on a bit of a miniature tangent. I just feel like we will never stop learning. Like I think I used to look at adults and think that's it. Like they know everything. I think we're going to be like on our deathbeds and we'll be still learning like when we're like 99 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's me just assuming we're living to 99. Like we could die tomorrow and I know that very fucking well. Chloe, another good one. How do you deal with endometriosis and bloating? Everyone wants to know how to deal with bloating. How do you do it?
Well, the endometriosis part, a lot of people ask me about this. Mine was silent. So I didn't really have any. I went in to see a fertility specialist because I was struggling to fall pregnant. We did a laparoscopy and a hysteroscopy at the very start, which was like 2 years ago. They discovered in that investigation that I had medium, like moderate to medium endometriosis. But for me, it was silent. I had no symptoms. So I can't give any recommendations on how I deal with that. Bloating, for me, I think it's just part of my cycle. I don't really actually do anything to deal with bloating. I just think I just, when I am feeling a little bit bloated, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm getting my period. This is going to pass. So I'm not, I can't really give any. When I'm doing an egg collection with IVF and you're pumping your body with the hormones and you're growing extra follicles with the eggs inside, just before you do a collection, you will feel extra bloated because, I mean, for me, I'm getting maybe like 10 to 12 follicles, which other women get up to 50 or something like that. I can't even imagine how they do with that bloating. But for me, when you think about having 10 to 12 follicles, these follicles are each about 2 centimeters in
they take up
size.
space.
I think by the time they take them out, they're around 2 centimeters each-ish.
Yeah, they are.
So all of those are equally on divided, well, not always equally, but divided between both of your ovaries. So before they do this collection, you are bloated. But I always just know that, it does. It always passes for me. So that's a little bit of a hard one for me to answer because I don't really suffer from that.
And I think just bloating in general, like I guess there's a few things people can do, like lymphatic drainage massages for their stomachs. I always feel really good after those.
I also love drinking a lot of green tea too, so I'm wondering if that helps. I'm always drinking tea and warm fluids. Like I really, I just started, I saw this naturopath online and I posted about it on my Instagram the other week, and it was like about this breakfast soup, and it's like different, all the different types of pumpkins. I even chucked in some sweet potato, carrots, ginger, garlic, onion.
I'm hungry.
Turmeric, salt, pepper, chicken stock, chicken broth. And apparently by having this breakfast soup in the morning, all the orange rich vegetables is really good for digestion. You just have a cup of this every morning when you wake up, and putting that warm elixir through your body is really good for your metabolism and digestion. I've been doing that every morning and it's so delicious. And I didn't really stick to the recipe. I kind of just chucked it in, seasoned it.
I used to, funnily enough, have this obsession with, I think I read that Japanese people, they have a lot of, they have a lot of green tea and like soups in their diet, and their metabolisms or their digestive systems are like, they kind of thrive because like you can imagine hot things going down a lot better than cold things. And it was weird. I fully remember having this like bit of an obsession with hot stuff. So say if I'd have like a meal that makes you feel gluggy, like hot chips, or eaten a bit like a sandwich or something, I'd always want to have hot tea after it rather than like a cold water or Coke or something. I'd want to have like something warm to help get it down.
Flush it down. I thought you were going to say just smother it in gravy and then it turns into a soup.
Or smother it in olive oil
or tomato sauce.
But yeah, I always, and I don't really do that anymore, but maybe I need to get back into that because it does feel good. It kind of like helps things go down because, imagine hot things like going to, everything's moving rather than like ice cold water.
Speaking of this, Ellidy and I are going to do an episode coming up soon, which we thought was actually pretty funny. We're going to do a life hack episode. So we're going to reach out to you guys. We're going to give all of our best life hacks, and we're going to get all your best life hacks and we're going to share them.
And like travel hacks as well, because shit when you're like at the airport and like just little
how to stash heavy clothing, wear 14 layers through checking.
Yeah,
we've got some good ones. So you just have to wait for that episode.
And actually, maybe we put a thing up where people send funny life hacks in, or travel hacks and things like that, so we can read them out.
That's what I just said.
Oh, are you listening? Fuck me. No, I'm not listening.
But we've also talked about this.
Yeah. Wow, who doesn't listen? Holy shit. go-to dinner recipe, Chloe? Everyone wants to know this one.
Oh, my go-to is roast dinners.
And you love the crumb cutlets.
Oh, crumb cutlets, yeah. I actually had those for lunch and dinner yesterday.
Wow. She comes back and goes straight to the butcher and stocks up on her meat and cutlets.
I used to crumb my own cutlets, but now I just buy them from the butcher. They're so good. I could eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know. Like meat and 3 veg.
I had my first crumb cutlet this year, which
blows my mind.
I don't know. I'm not really a meat on the bone kind of girl.
Oh, I'm all about it. It makes it extra juicy.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm going to tell you. I've got to finish my recipe thing. So roast dinners, I've learned that from my mum. I love cooking roast. So I specialize in lamb. So I like, stuff it with garlic, stuff it with rosemary.
It's so good.
The roast veggies, we have like pumpkin, sweet potato, potatoes. I can do a really good cauliflower bake, which is like with the cheesy white sauce that I don't buy from the packet. It's like bit of butter, chuck it in the microwave or on the stove, put a bit of milk in, then just flour and then cheese and just keep mixing it around. And just add in like the milk, then cheese, then and just keep whisking it.
Oh, I'm starving.
And then get your cauliflower, steam it, chuck it in a dish, pour all that cheesy white sauce over, sprinkle it with tasty cheese. And then the gravy, I get my meat out and then I let the meat settle, put some foil over it. And then I'm with the juices from all the lamb, I get a bit of flour, bit of Worcestershire sauce, a bit of soy sauce. Sometimes I chuck it in a Vegemite, boil the kettle and then like pour it on the stove and just kind of like mush it all together and
that's the real gravy. There's no Gravox shit there.
No Gravox.
Not from the box.
Oh my goodness, honestly, the next day if we don't eat all the gravy, I can eat it on a sandwich. Yeah. Just heaps of butter, white bread, gravy on a sandwich. It's actually making me hungry and I've eaten breakfast.
I'm fucking hungry, man. I need to eat.
What's your go-to recipe?
I love pastas and things like that. God,
I'm not good at that. But you make it from scratch.
Yeah, I make pasta and risotto and like the big creamy yum. I'm not like a meat and 3 veg person. But then when someone makes it for me, if it's covered in gravy, I'm all about it.
Poor Paul gets meat and 3 veg every night.
Paul.
But he loves it. Him and I are a perfect match in that sense because we could just eat mashed potato,
healthy.
Veggies. Yeah.
Oh, mashed potato. Don't even fucking
nothing
talk
like
to me.
Talking about food when you're hungry.
I'm starving. I don't know what. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ellidy, we're back to you now. Would you consider dating again? How does life after loss make you feel?
How does life after loss make me feel? So many different fucking ways. Would I consider dating again? Of course I would. I'm 30. I will 100%. I'm sure I'm going to date again. The thought in my mind still like I'm not keen. I'm not ready. I'm not there yet. It's very far from my thoughts. Like I'm dating Minnie and I'm dating Rami. I'm busy. I don't even barely have time for friends. I don't have time for extras. Do you know? Yeah. I'm so I don't have room at the moment. But like I don't have room emotionally either. Like I still feel like I'm dating Chumpy. He's just overseas somewhere. Yeah. Like he's coming back, I feel. Maybe no. But I know he's not. But I mean, I know I'm very realistic. Of course, I'm not going to be alone my entire life, you know. Of course, but I'm not also. I could never imagine going on dates.
Some massive shoes to fill.
No, I don't even want to think like that. We couldn't. I can't. I've got to not compare. I've got to not think like that. True. I like because that's I feel like I kind of feel sorry for that person. No, I don't. I'm not gonna. Yeah, but. Poor him. No, but I'm a handful as well. I've got baggage. Are you kidding? I got Minnie, I got Rami, I'm annoying. We are a lot to take on for someone. I feel sorry for that person. He's going to have to be a certain person. And that would not happen. And I reckon I'm the kind of I was not ever like, I just fell into Chumpy's lap kind of thing, but I can't imagine me on the dating apps. I can't imagine doing it. I don't have the personality for it.
I think when you meet this person, it's going to be it's going to be like, okay, yeah,
yeah.
It's a person in person. It's a person in person role.
Yeah,
it's not a dating app role.
It's a full straight up meet and greet accidentally happened. Wow, this just fell into place. Yeah. Like I 100% am a straight up yes or no person when I meet someone. It's not going to be oh, that was okay. Let's see how it goes. Maybe I'll go on another date. Like, I reckon I know from the very first moment. I love that, actually. That's very true. I think it'll click.
You know, you know.
Yeah, and if you don't know, you really don't know. I'm never going to be like, oh.
No, if you don't know, you know.
Yeah, if you don't know, you fucking know you don't know, because I would never be like, oh, not sure about that person, but let's just have another look and keep, let's see him again. Fuck that. When I don't know, I definitely know.
Next question. Will you have another baby chum? Do you have another baby chum?
I have two. I can have another baby chum. I've got some in the freezer that are ready, and I could make more with his sperm and my eggs. At the moment, I feel pretty whole with just having Minnie. We've got like a long road ahead, me and her. I can't imagine just throwing another baby into the mix now. So it's not on my radar, like in the very near future. No, I'm stoked with Minnie being my little chump. Like she's enough for me right now.
Perfect little pocket rocket.
Yep.
Okay, so to end this episode, we are going to try our best to do these quickfire questions, which we're not great at quickfire questions.
All right, Chloe.
Okay, we've got like a real quickfire.
Sensodyne or Colgate?
Oh, we know this. I'm doing Sensodyne now because Chumpy always did Sensodyne, and it's weird. I just would never. I instantly just look into toothpaste aisle and I'm like, sugar's in that one. Sensodyne it is.
Sensodyne's clean, and you know Chumpy's looking at you when you're looking at the other ones, and even though it costs $84,000 for one tube, you have to.
Yeah, Sensodyne all the way. Next one. Are you on medication to help with your losses?
I'm personally not on medication to help with my losses. I definitely could be on some shit though, but I'm not. I'm just managing it.
Yeah, it's a no from me too.
Yep. Did you ever feel lost after school?
Okay, we're going to answer these together because I reckon I know what the answer is here. So we're going to count to three and we're going to say.
Okay.
We're going to say. So wait, the question is, do you feel lost after school? Ready? 1, 2, 3. No.
Yes. Of course you didn't feel fucking lost after school. Have you ever been lost?
No.
Have you ever even lost your way, like when we're driving directions? No.
No, I'm always a maps girl, even if I'm going up the street.
I think it's normal to feel lost after school. I was very fucking lost. But like being a lostie is fun.
A lost boys.
Be lost. Of course, Chloe's not lost. That's just the narrative of her and me's dynamic. Her and me.
Her and me.
Her and I's dynamic.
Did you learn anything at school?
100% no. As I said, I only learned everything I know I learned in the last year and a half.
Oh, gosh.
We're still learning, darling.
We're still learning.
School wasn't for me.
Oh, we have one more housekeeping thing to say to you guys, and we have to apologise because one of our friends brought it to our attention that we introduced a segment this season and we decided that we just didn't need to put it in the last few episodes. So we're going to bring it back. You guys have been writing in. If you do want to ask us any specific questions to be added into the future episodes as well, you can just go to our website and send us in some questions.
Asking for a friend segment, that is.
Sorry about that. But this episode, we're actually not going to do one again because we've just answered 1,000 of your questions. So
wow, you just said we're going to bring it back and then we're like, no, we're not.
Bring it back, psych. Well,
psych.
This is a big asking for a friend.
We just answered so many questions. So, yeah.
It'll be back next week, people. Speaking of next week, actually.
Oh, lol. The poor guy.
We have our first man for the season and we're talking all about all things meditation, and it was an amazing episode.
He loves us.
We were just absolutely on one that day and we just had the giggles and
we had a shocker. Rami was barking, Minnie was squawking, postmans were knocking on the door.
Ellidy's internet was cutting out. It was just like
friends were coming and going from the house. It couldn't have been a more disrupted episode.
It was pretty funny. By the end, he was literally just like laughing at us. And so, yeah.
The poor thing, I think he was just like, Genoa is his name. Absolute Lord. Absolutely love him. But I'm pretty sure he was like, what kind of bullshit shambles are these two running? Like, this is a joke.
So you guys, you're in for a good one next week. It's actually an amazing episode, but he's
amazing.
You'd think 3 seasons in, you guys would have your shit together, but we definitely.
But it makes me want to put a little suit, collar and tie on and like be professional next time we have a guest on and like not muck around or, that was.
No, it was all part of the fun. So.
That was a shocker. We're sorry, Genoa, if you're listening. Love you.
We love you. Anyway, I think that answers all your questions. So we'll speak to you next week.
Thank you, Shallings. Peace out.
Bye.